What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we will be talking prize picks ahead of UFC Long Island Ortega versus Rodriguez. And before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are also brought to you today by PrizePicks, the subject of today's show. And if you don't know PrizePicks, their daily prop-based offerings. Use the promo code AWESEMO for up to $100 in a first match deposit bonus. PrizePicks doesn't have sharks, optimizers, or mass entries. You can make player lineups with up to 5 players, and that will net you up to 10 extra entry fee depending on the way you play the site. You can use your knowledge across sports to make cross-sport entries as well. Click the link in the video description below to head to prizepicks.com or download PrizePicks in the App Store or on Google Play. Then make sure to take advantage of that awesome promo code for up to $100. All right, we're going to get into this with 3 picks today on PrizePicks. And I love starting personally with the fantasy points section of PrizePicks. And for MMA, it's a little different than your traditional DraftKings or FanDuel. So when we talk about some of these players, you have to remember, first of all, you're getting points for a finish. So if it's a first round finish, you're getting 100 points. Second round finish, 75. Third round is 50 points. So this is a little more aggressive than like a DraftKings scoring. And the player I want to start with here with fantasy score is Sumudaerji. 94.5 is the line. I like over this. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, when you look at him just as a favorite and in the distance, he is minus 265. That gives him about a 73% chance of winning the fight. That's huge for some of these points. And better yet, he's minus 120 inside the distance. That gives him a roughly 55% chance to finish this fight early. That is huge for some of that bonus equity we just talked about, which is very, very impactful for the overall fantasy score in these fights. And then from there, he has a path to a high score overall. His opponent, Matt Schnell, has lost quite a bit recently. And in the 6 losses he has, this is a 32-year-old we're talking about. 3 have been knockouts and 2 have been submissions. So Sumudaerji, who is 16-4 in his career, he has 13 knockouts and he's still only 26 years old, certainly has the power edge in this fight. Now, the level of competition is a concern. Schnell's been in there with Alejandro Pantoja, Rogerio Bontorin, Brandon Royval. Those are elite fighters, but they've all been losses too. If this fight does end up going to the judges' scorecards, there's still a path for Sumudaerji to get over this 94.5. He's a really aggressive striker. He lands 4.49 strikes per minute with 51% accuracy. Schnell's even more aggressive, 4.26 strikes per minute with 38% accuracy. That's not great accuracy-wise, but he's out there and he's aggressive. The same goes for takedowns. And I want to point out, you get points for takedown defenses, you get points for submission attempts, and you get points for knockdowns. Schnell has been knocked down a lot in his career. Even against Royval, he was knocked on the ground in that fight. So there's a potential for there to get these ancillary points with submission attempts, takedown defenses, and knockdowns. And Schnell is the more aggressive grappler here. He lands 0.38 takedowns, but his accuracy is just 33%. That should give Sumudaerji a decent chance of defending some takedowns and scoring even more points here. With so many paths, I think over 94.5 fantasy points here is a very good offering from PrizePicks. Going to our second play, we'll head over to strikes. And this is one that's actually really confusing to me. Amanda Lemos, 60.5 strikes. This one's been coming down a little bit. I don't agree with it. It was at 63.5, which I liked. And I'll take 60.5 if they're going to give it to me. There's a couple reasons why. First of all, Lemos is another huge favorite on this fight. She's 35 years old, but she's 11-2 in her career. She's a minus 305 favorite against Michelle Waterson, a much smaller fighter. That gives Lemos a 74.5% chance of winning the fight just based on implied odds. And then the in the distance prop here, the fight is minus 190 to reach a decision. That's about a 66% this goes to the judges. That means we should get a 3 rounds of Lemos, and I think probably using her preferred game plan at that. Waterson likes to wrestle, but traditionally she's been an atomweight. Now she's fighting up a weight class in the UFC, but it's still a size advantage for Lemos here. And when you look at the wrestling for Waterson, it is good. 1.4 takedowns, 32% accuracy, and that's about 4.4 takedowns attempted per bout. But Lemos has 88% takedown defense. I don't really see that as a path for Waterson. And then when you look at striking, Lemos has a huge advantage here. She lands 5.14 strikes per minute, 57% accuracy is elite. Watterson is absorbing 4.13 strikes per minute with 50% striking defense. She absorbs more strikes than she inflicts overall. This line has fallen a little bit. And again, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think we can get over 60 strikes here. She's only eclipsed 60 strikes in 2 of her UFC fights. But when you look at the whole body of work, 5 of her 7 fights have finished early, which again, bookmakers aren't expecting here. It's minus 190 to reach a decision. And in the decision, she landed 83 strikes and then just 50 strikes in a surprising fight against Angela Hill that involved 6 minutes of control time. So I think this makes a lot of sense for Lemos to keep this standing and beat up Michelle Watterson on the feet. We'll go over 60.5 significant strikes. Last one, I want to bring you back to the fantasy score. This is a line that's moved a lot throughout the week. Dustin Jacoby, 73.5 for fantasy score. This is one we'll be going under, and a lot of it has to do with line movement. He opened as the favorite, and as the week has gone on, it has moved and flipped in favor of Da Un Jung. Right now, Jacoby is a 105 underdog, which gives him roughly a 49% chance of winning the fight, which is still good. But again, we want as much win bonus equity as possible when we look at these fantasy scores, and Jacoby just doesn't have it right now. The fight is also minus 110 to reach a decision, meaning more times than not, this is going to reduce the available win bonuses on PrizePicks. And again, they are aggressive. And then furthermore, Da Un Jung has a massive advantage on the ground. He averages 2.6 takedowns with 61% accuracy, and Jacoby defends them at just 58%. In fact, Jacoby hasn't really faced a lot of wrestlers in his UFC career, which is long, but now he's getting a very different opponent in Da Un Jung who likes to wrestle. Jacoby is 17-5 in his career. He has 1 loss via knockout, 2 losses via submission. I don't think Da Un Jung submits him when you look at his body of work. 15-2 in his career, 11 knockouts, 2 submissions. So that's probably unlikely. But wrestling and then controlling Jacoby is certainly in the realm of possibility. And we've seen weaknesses in the grappling game of Jacoby in the past. So I think this is a path to victory. We'll go under 73.5 for an underdog in what could be a lopsided fight. To recap these picks, again, we went Sue Mutterji over 94.5 fantasy points. Amanda Lemos under 60.5. Dustin Jacoby over 73.5. Couple ways you can play this. If you use the flex play, you only need to get 3 of the 2 correct. If you get all 3, it pays 2.25x. If you get 2 of the 3, it pays 1.25x. Or if you're very confident, you can use the power play. You need to get all 3x in this circumstance, but it does pay 5x if you end up hitting. And thank you again to PrizePicks. Hope you guys enjoy UFC Long Island Ortega versus Rodriguez. My name is Matt Gajewski on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again next time.